So what are some examples of that joy?
Oh, lots of examples of joy. For example, we worship on the beach in the summer, have our worship on the beach services, and most every year we have a walk-on water contest. So everyone goes to the edge of the water, and there are no rules to the contest, and kids, or anybody for that matter, gets to try walking on water. Now, my guess is most of us have, at one stage of the game, heard that story and then gone to the local pool or whatever and given it a try and try and walk as quickly as we can or whatever we can do to keep from sinking. Well, we do that in the context of worship. Is it enjoyable? Yes. But you know what? The other side of it is it provides me an opportunity to tell that story to the kids and their families in a new way that emphasizes what I believe is the important part of that story, which wasn't Jesus ever saying, "Hey, look at me, I can walk on water, see, I am God." Instead, it's a story of someone who would go the extra mile and do anything that was necessary to be a caregiver and to reach out to those people whom he loved. You know, Jesus never performed any miracles where he said, "Okay, here goes, watch this, look at who I am." Instead, it was always a story of reaching out and loving someone in need. You know, and that's, I think, the story of Jesus walking on water. So that's a fun way to tell the story. We're at the beach. Some people are in their bathing suits. You know, I'm in bare feet and shorts. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we tell that story? Now, there's some churches that would say, "Oh, well, that's not worshipful," or "How can you be at the beach and be serious about
or
worship?"
Or would say it's gimmick. It's a gimmick.
Or say it's gimmick.
Attract people.
Well, you know what? If they say that, I just don't feel any need to even address that. That's their choice, and I think you get to a point in ministry where, you know, I feel like I struggled for so many years with so many different things, and now I'm at a place where I just feel like I'm going to choose to follow the path that I think God has set for me, and that's kind of the way it is. So I'm not going to apologize for that. And the other thing is, people have the opportunity to make choices, and if we're not fit for them, that's okay. I just I don't have a problem with that. The good news is that there is a segment of the community for whom we are a fit. You know, it's the same as in Indianapolis. So one of the responsibilities I had was with a couple other pastors to start a group that we called TNT, which is 20s and 30s. So we kind of did everything under the sun. I rode a motorcycle at that stage of my life, and so we had a group of people that would take extended motorcycle rides down into Brown County and stuff like that. It was just a great way to connect. Another thing is, I'm a passionate windsurfer, and what I did in Indianapolis, even though it's the largest landlocked city in the state, or in the United States at the time, I started a program called Aquatic Experience, where I became certified as a windsurfing instructor, and then we take people in this group, I take people in this group, 20s and 30s, out to the local reservoir where I teach them to windsurf. And, you know, the guy who owned the board sailing shop that rented us the equipment was happy because he didn't have to pay me, you know, because I was happy to do it for free, and everybody could get their equipment at a discounted rate. And it was the last thing that anybody ever thought they'd be able to do, is go to a church and learn to windsurf. Yet the beauty of it was that if you've ever tried windsurfing, you know that no matter who you are, no matter how great a sailor you are or how athletic you are, everybody falls in and gets wet. You know, it's the great equalizer. Whether you are a reserved, quiet librarian, or whether you're the most athletic guy, rah, 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 and big man on campus, everyone falls in and looks silly. And almost everyone, given the right equipment and the right instruction, can learn to windsurf. So it's a great equalizer for church groups in terms of everyone really being the same, you know, which is an important thing to develop in groups like that. And so that was a fun ministry. Is someone going to call it a gimmick? I don't care. I mean, what is a gimmick? What isn't? You know? So ministry should be fun, and especially in light of all the statistics that show that, you know, 50%, 40 to 50% of the churches in the United States of America haven't taken in a new member, a single new member, in the last 2 years. That's startling. Or the Presbyterian Church has lost, continues to lose members in 2015 for the 50th straight year. They've experienced membership declines. Maybe it's time to change how we think about ministry. You know, when ministers, as we said before, you know, 19 out of 20 people who are in the ministry won't retire as ministers and want to get the heck out. Why is that? Well, maybe it's because the model of ministry we have doesn't provide for the kind of joy it's supposed to all be about. And I'm not going to apologize for having fun with what we do. I mean, so you're at the event we had 2 weeks ago. Someone in our church lives on a farm. Somebody else has a giant projection outdoor TV system. So what do? We go to the farm, we set up the outdoor projection system, and we watch the Bears Monday night football game and have a cookout. You know, that was a blast.
Yeah.
And in fact, we had about 60 people sign up and say they were going to be there, and we had more than 125 people show up. It was sort of like when high school kids sometimes have a party, you know, hey, there's no one home at Edwin's house, let's go there, and all of a sudden everybody's there. Well, it was kind of like, hey, the community church is having this party up at Crabtree Farm. It's the Bears game. It's a beautiful night. Free beer, free wine, free food, no charge for anything. And so everybody shows up. And why should we apologize for having fun?